Welcome back to another Halloween tutorial. This is going to be on this Ventriloquist doll, but instead of it being a doll, it's a human. So I wanted it to look as if I've carved in the typical features that a Ventriloquist doll has. So the really high cheekbones and the mouth it has that makes it go up and down. I just think it adds an extra gory vibe to it, and I really loved how it turned out. I think it looks super creepy. But if you want to know how to get this look, then just keep watching. So to start creating the gashes or the cuts in my face, I'm using 3rd degree silicone, which you might have saw me use in my carved heart face tutorial. But what I'm doing is just mixing equal parts of A and B to create a gooey kind of looking texture. I mixed a little bit of my foundation in to give more of a skin kind of look to it. And I'm just placing down quite a thick part of that silicone where I want the initial gash to go. And then I'm just blending it into my skin. And to help blend out those edges, I'm using isopropyl alcohol. I can never say that, it's so hard. And then I'm just going to go with my spatula and start carving in a line where the cut is going to be. And then on each edge, I'm just going to start building up that silicone just to make it look like the skin has been really raised and the cut is really deep. And whilst you're doing the edges, you're going to want to keep going in with your spatula just to make sure there's no 3rd degree going into the wound, because you want it to be completely clear so you can add all of the blood and gory kind of gross stuff into that. And then you just want to do the same process everywhere else. So I'm doing it again on the other side of my chin. And then to connect it on the bottom of my chin so it looks like I've actually carved all the way round my chin, I'm just doing the exact same thing again, but just at the bottom of my chin. And to get an easy outline of where I want my cheeks to look like they've been carved, I'm just using a white eyeliner. And you want to do a really creepy smile so your cheekbones raise a little bit, just so it looks a little bit more natural. But as you can see, I did one a little bit lower than the other, but I preferred the one on my left side, so I ended up wiping off the other cheekbone and just redoing it again. And then exactly what I did on the chin, I'm just going in with a really thick amount of the silicone and just placing it all over that white eyeliner. And I'm also moving my spatula around a little bit so the cut looks really jagged, just so it looks a little bit more realistic and more like the skin is kind of ripped. And I tried to block out my eyebrows, but I really didn't do a good job, so I wouldn't recommend the way I did it. But my boyfriend really wanted to try putting glue all over my eyebrow. I just made sure my eyebrows were completely covered in glue, and then I just went in with a spatula to really smooth it down. And then I just went in with a translucent powder and some concealer to really set them. But as you can see, you can still kind of see them through the powder. But at the end of the day, this isn't supposed to look like a doll. It's supposed to look like a human trying to make themselves a doll. So I suppose the eyebrows showing through kind of just adds to that effect, so I'm just going to go with that. And for the foundation, I'm using NARS Siberia, and I think this is called the Luminous Weightless foundation. I wanted to give myself a kind of sallow look, so I went for more of a yellow based foundation, and then I'm just going in with some concealer as well, just under my eyes, my nose and my forehead. And I'm using the Mercier translucent powder to set my entire face. And for my brows, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Ebony Dip Brow Pomade. I wanted my brows obviously to look really drawn on, so I went for a really thin line. And for the eyes, I'm using the Balm Meet Matte Trimony palette. And for a transition shade, I'm using Matte Lin. Then just to smoke out the crease a little bit more, I'm using Matte Lopez. But I'm also using this to really smoke out my inner lid that goes into my brow. And it will then go into my nose contour as well. And I wanted to start giving myself a bit of a halo smoky eye. So on the outer and inner lid, I'm using Matte Reed just to deepen it up a bit. And then just to put in the centre of my lid, I'm using Matte Lin again, just to make my eyes look a bit more rounded as well, as we are going for that kind of dull-eyed look. And I wanted it to look a lot more smoky, so I ended up going in with Matte Ahmed, and I just focused that just a tiny bit on the outer lid and inner lid again. And for my waterline, I'm using NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk. And then I'm also using the white liquid liner to start creating a white line under my waterline, just to create a bigger eye so they look super dull like. And then I'm just going in with a black eyeliner to outline the shape of my new eye. And for mascara, I'm using the Velvet 59 My Fair Lashes. I'm using the Eldora H109 lashes, and I thought these looked so cool for a dull look. They're so spiky and long. I loved how they looked. And for the lower lashes, I'm using the Ardell short individual lashes, and I just place them right onto that black line. For blusher, I'm using the Makeup Geek Love Affair blush. And for highlight, I'm using the sleek Solstice highlighting palette. And I wanted to contour my nose really heavily and my lips as well, so I'm using the Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette. And to start creating all the gory parts of my carved skin, I'm using the Skin Illustrator FX palette. Just for a base colour, I'm using the Prime Red just to go in between all of the gashes. And to create a bit of texture, I'm just using a disposable sponge and picking parts out of it so it creates a lot of uneven splatter marks. And I'm just using the same Prime Red colour. And to start deepening it up, I'm using the Aged Blood colour. And then for certain areas where I want the cuts to look really deep, I'm going in with the black and then mixing it with the Blood Tone and Aged Red colours, just so it's not a stark black colour. And then I'm just going in with a fan brush just to create a little bit more splatter marks and texture marks. And now I'm using the Nye Scab Blood, and I'm placing this in random areas of the cuts just because I really wanted it to look really gory and look like there's flesh in there and just make it look really disgusting. And then for the blood, I'm using the Mehron Squirt blood in dark, and I'm just placing that literally all in between the cuts so it looks really fresh. And I'm dabbing it on the sides of my lips. I didn't place any of the blood in random places of where my mouth is. I just started dripping it directly from the top of the cut so it would look as if the blood is just naturally falling down. And then again, going in with the sponge just to create a bit more texture and splatter marks. I'm just dabbing over that blood to make it look a little bit more messy. And for the lips, I'm using the Kat Von D liquid lipstick. Oh my god. And for the lips, I'm using the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Vampira. And I'm creating those kind of heart-shaped doll lips. But you can create whatever kind of lip you like. I just really liked how this looked. And that's the finished tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did enjoy this and let me know what you thought in the comments. If you do decide to recreate this look, please tag me on Instagram because I'd love to see. I've been loving seeing all of your recreations. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe so you can stay updated when I post. Bye!